Monday, everybody. We're back here for another Mental Health Monday. We're so excited that you've joined us. And we're also excited for next week. We have our very first, call it a relaunch. You know, you've been asking, where's your live Q&As been? Why haven't you been doing them? Well, we've been working behind the scenes to create our new Mental Health Live. We talked about it here a few weeks ago. I'm sure you've heard rumors going on around of what it's going to be. Well, we don't want to give too much away. We want you to tune in next week. Not at 5:30, what we have been, at 6 o'clock. From 6 to 7, we'll be launching our new Mental Health Live. You know, we have an exciting guest that's going to be joining us. We're going to be discussing some of the things that are going on in the world, how we can build for the future, how we can be stronger, more resilient, how we can find the freedom that we all want with our mental health in this world that's going crazy. I don't think we can deny that it's going absolutely nuts. There are things that we're seeing today that we have not seen ever. Like we talk about the Bible coming to life, you know, the prayer that, you know, God, let me see I want to see the Bible come alive. You are seeing the Bible come alive. I mean, there are people saying that we are seeing the second coming of Sodom and Gomorrah. And you know what? It's becoming very, very difficult to not say you are absolutely correct. So how do we operate as Christians in this crazy world? How do we keep our head straight? How do we keep our mind right? How do we not get pulled one way or the other, get pulled down, become overburdened and overwhelmed? Well, tune in next week as we discuss those things, as we dig into those, as we talk about these issues and give you some of the Christian perspective and how do we do this and keep our wits about us. How do we do this and not become depressed or anxious or fearful? How do we do this and stand strong on that foundation that is Christ? We've talked about this month, having the right perspective, having the right direction, having the right understanding. How do we do that? Tune in next week as we will give you the tools that we feel is necessary to do this as we have conversations in these arenas. I don't know why I had such difficulty thinking of that word arena, but I did. So this week, I want to kind of close out the month of July. I can't believe we are at the end of the month already. It's just flown by. It's like it feels like the month hasn't even started and it's already over. It's absolutely crazy. So I want to close out this month with the discussion and kind of the topic that is relationship. You know, we've talked about that everything happens in the context of relationship, right? And the book of Ecclesiastes is a great example of this. Now, if you know, people that know me know that the book of Ecclesiastes is my absolute favorite book of the Bible. When I was 18, it was the book that I grabbed a Bible study on it, and it was just like God brought this Bible study to me because this was the book of the Bible for me. People that would say, "Oh, that's such a negative and downer of a book. How could you find joy and peace in that?" Well, because of the context of relationship. If we look in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, starting in verse 9, it says this: "Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their efforts. For if either falls, his companion can lift him up, but pity the one who fails or falls under another and has another to lift him up. Also, if two lie together, they can keep warm, but how can one person alone keep warm? And if someone overpowers one person, two can resist them. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken." I love this picture of relationship. I love how it shows that really we're meant to walk together. Everything happens in the context of relationship. You've heard me say this over and over and over again. God created Adam for relationship. God created Eve for relationship with Adam so they could populate the earth. created family for relationship. We're all meant to happen within relationship. You look at anybody who has influence in this world, has wealth in this world, has enjoyment in this world, it comes through relationship. There's no way around it. And those that don't have relationship are the ones that find themselves in dire need, that find themselves struggling. This is especially true when it comes to our mental health. If we look at mental health like in addiction, right? Being addicted to bad thought processes, or addicted to resentment, or addicted to that, that hurt from the past. Addiction is hard to hard to get over. Those old habits, those old patterns, those things that have become comfortable to us, that have become like barbed wire teddy bears to us, are not easily let go. And we cannot do it alone. The enemy would seek to tell you, oh yes, you can. No, you can't. Even the secular world recognizes this. Look at AA. Look at NA. Look at any of these 12-step programs that recognize you need someone to walk with you. You need a sponsor. You need someone to hold you accountable. Because even the secular world, now yes, I know that those programs are based off of a Christian model and come from a Christian background, but they are not Christian anymore, even though they take some of the truth from Christianity and apply it to secular mental health and recovery. So if even the secular world recognizes the value and the need for relationship, how much more do we as Christians need to recognize the value and the need for relationship? Why? Well, first, companionship and relationship helps us find progress, helps us find breakthrough. What I mean by that is sometimes we can't see what's ahead. Sometimes we can't see around the corner. Sometimes we're so wrapped up in just walking that we miss the obvious, or we miss the clues, we miss the sign. Having someone there with you, walk through with you, gives you an extra set of eyes to say, hey, wait a minute, you're falling back into this. Hey, wait a minute, that's a pattern that's not going to work. That's a choice that's not going to work. Your scripture also says that iron sharpens iron. This is an example of iron sharpening iron, of saying, hey, wait a minute, that's not going to work. But let me also be clear, having someone walk with you, having a companion walk with you, having a true relationship, that person is not going to get in your way. He's not going to get in the way of your healing, of your breakthrough, of your restoration. And if that person isn't helping build you up, isn't helping you get progress towards your goals, then you need to look at, is this person part of the problem? Is this person part of my bad habits? Or is this person that relationship, that partner to lead me, to walk with me? Because ultimately, a partner, a friend, a relationship does not impede your progress to health. I know we say everything happens in the context of relationship. And some of those relationships that we have, some of the most damaging things in our life, are relationships that are not healthy. As you seek your health, as you seek your breakthrough, as you seek overcoming and better mental health, you need to make sure that those that you choose to walk with, those that you surround yourself with, are not part of the problem that put you where you were. Because if they are, they will keep you where you are. Proper, right relationship will help lead you to your breakthrough. Secondly, if you stumble and you're in relationship, as you're seeking your mental health, as you're seeking maturity, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, as you're seeking, they will help you get there. They will build you up. They will give you the direction. They will give you the encouragement. Because there are many times, I even had this last week where I was feeling very, very just like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm over it. And had someone come to me and say, I believe in you. You are strong. Look at where you've come from. Look at where you're going. Look at what these other people have said about you. Having that voice to overcome the negative voice in my head, that, the lies of the enemy, the voices of the world, sometimes is the only thing that allows you to make it through. We need proper, good relationships. We need companions. I mean, think about, I don't know if you're a nerd like me and you watch The Lord of the Rings. You see the story of Samwise and Frodo, where the two of these two little hobbits go and take the Ring of Power to be destroyed in Mount Doom. And there are times in there that even though Frodo is the one carrying the ring, that they only get there because of Sam and his ability. There's a scene in the movie, if you've seen the movies, where Sam picks up Frodo and literally carries him. Says, I may not be able to carry your burden. I may not be able to carry this ring, but I can carry you. I love that. And that's such a poignant example of relationship. Now, let me also say that when someone comes alongside you, when someone like Samwise comes alongside to help, just because they are helping you and picking you up doesn't mean that gives you the right to let go of your part of it. You still have to walk. You still have to push forward. You still have to do the hard work. You can't place on somebody else. You still have to do it. Relationship is about companionship and about partnership and working together to help overcome. There's nothing more frustrating than trying to help somebody and they decide, hey, you're here, you're going to do it for me. No, I'm here to help you. So just because someone comes to help you or you come up to help someone else doesn't mean that the person's burden, your burden, their burden, is to be placed on the one coming to help. It's a cooperative effort. The third thing that I kind of want to talk about, with relationship is, well, I already touched on it. It's the comfort that comes from this, when you're discouraged. When you're walking with a companion, they can say and really speak into your life, speak the truth. Yeah, and the last thing I want to touch on, why relationship is important, is having somebody to defend you. Having someone to have your back. Having someone that when others say, you're just not the same you were anymore. Or why aren't you fun anymore? Or why have you cut me off? When the reality is you had to because they were keeping you trapped in damaging behaviors and damaging patterns. That they were keeping you in resentment and anger and depression. Having that person there that can stand up and defend you to them, to defend you to others, and ultimately also to defend you to yourself, to keep you from going back. We need relationships. We need strong relationships. We need to be building strong relationships and receiving strong relationships. We need to be pouring into people's lives and finding people that will pour into our lives. Not seeking to get filled up, but seeking to fill up others. If we seek to fill up others and finding those that seek to fill up rather than take from us, you'll find that the reciprocity builds something so beautiful in your life that is beyond words, that is beyond really understanding. Because you have a strength and a partnership that is like nothing else. And especially in a world that is so individualistic and is all about me, me, me. To find those relationships, to build those relationships in a counterculture, and create a counterculture, should I say, is an amazing aspect of strength moving forward. So, I challenge you this week to look at your relationships. Look at how you do relationship. Look at how you receive relationship. Because your relationships will largely determine how you kind of view things. We've talked about perspective this month. And I look at my life and I look at those that have come into my counseling office. I look at my kids. I look at people I interact with. And I can see how relationships affect their perspective. How they affect my perspective. And so I challenge you to look at your relationships. Are your relationships building you up towards the future, to health, to freedom, to breakthrough, to all you can be? Are you building others into that? Or are you seeking what you can get? Are they just seeking to get from you? Because those aren't relationships. Those that seek to take things from you are not relationships. Those are clients. You're offering a service to them. You're offering yourself as a service, as a product. They're not there to build you up. They're there to just consume. So let's be contributors in relationship, not consumers. And in doing so, let's find mental, emotional, psychological, relational strength. And let's attack these numbers of the mental health issues within the church, outside the church. Let's attack those numbers and start bringing those down as we change our perspective, as we build our relationships, and we understand the way God created us. So, I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you'll tune in next week for our very first, our relaunch, our rebrand, whatever you want, Mental Health Live. We're excited for it. You should be too. God bless. We'll see you next week.